So I've said in the past that I, not necessarily here on YouTube, but maybe on my other social media outlets, that I hate doing quote unquote black videos because black people don't support me, what have you, and my message about pan-africanism, libertarianism doesn't really get out. It doesn't reach the people who really need to hear the message. But here's the catch-22 of my YouTube channel. I have been threatened pretty consistently, and in my own family, fears for my life over some of the political topics that I talk about. I talked in my last net neutrality video talking about being threatened by the FCC and being threatened to be shut down of all of my little online empire, talking about independence, freedom, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, getting your pantry ready for Armageddon, buying silver and gold as a way to get through any sort of apocalyptic sort of mess that we might go through in the United States or the world. But here's the beauty of the black videos that I do. It reclassifies my YouTube channel as an insignificant black channel. So I went from being on the list with the Heritage Foundation, AMTV, Dabu 7, CNN, Fox, to then being reclassified as being a black channel. And then I have, I'm put in the same category as Tommy Sotomayor, which is a complete kick in the balls for me, because I think he's rebuilt his empire to actually bring down black people and not to uplift black people. And just like my observation of Hitler and his regime, I understand what he's doing, and I understand that he's successful at it, far more successful than I am currently. But I don't want to be a part of, in the same sentence as he is. Now, so on the one hand, making my black videos is a fantastic thing, but on the other hand, it's not a fantastic thing. I would actually prefer to move my channel just a little bit more libertarian, and give you all information about finance, economics, personal finance, how to get ahead, how to overcome racism without even having to deal with racism. And time again, I make the statement, you can ignore racism. The Asians have done it, but for some reason, black people don't take that to heart. It doesn't click. The key doesn't go in the lock and turns, it doesn't go click, click, open the door. Oh, I get what you're saying. It just doesn't hit home. How can Jews who aren't even in a significant number come to such power? They suffered lots of racism, historical racism, right? Not as much as the black man, nowhere near as much as the black man. And of course, being white themselves, we're talking about the Zionist Jews who call themselves Jews. They're not really Jews. They are white people, point blank. I mean, let's call a spade, or in this case, let's call it Casper a Casper. So they don't have the decades, and really it's just decades. It's not throughout human history. It's just decades of this concerted effort by white supremacy to keep black people down and make sure that we have psychological problems, and we hate ourselves, we bleach our skin, we dye our hair blonde and put colored eye contacts in, and then perm our hair with chemicals that destroy our scalp. And we try and get breast reduction, butt reduction, lip reductions to look like white people, the most ridiculous concept ever, when in fact the white people are getting lip enlargement, breast enlargement, butt enlargement, ab enlargements, muscle enlargements, wearing high heel shoes, and trying to adopt any and every piece of black culture that they can get a hold of. All of that, I try and deal with, and most of the black videos that I do, is directed at the lower classes. My channel is not supposed to be directed at lower classes. It's supposed to be targeting middle and upper class black people. I have almost nothing in common with lower class. I can't even understand lower class black people. Now, there's this, of course, historical lowest common denominator that all black people share, that we understand each other on a subconscious level. Yes, I understand where you're coming from, brother, sister, but on a day-to-day sort of hour by hour sort of basis of understanding, no, we don't share that much. Now, I'm a little bit more prolific than the average black man. I can understand all of the genres, all of the scenes, everything sexual, everything music, everything political, everything economic. Why? Because I made an actual concerted, willful goal to learn about all of humanity in all of its ugliness, all of its beauty, and all of its ignorance, and all of its naivete. And I'm trying to break the real chains on the black people, but that targets lower class. I don't think middle and upper class blacks are chained down as much as lower class. And lower class is a really big chunk of any group, right? Because lower class extends all the way up into middle class, right? You have the lower middle class, but there's still lower class. We're not talking about financial. We're talking about education, exposure, liberal arts, understanding. If somebody makes a quote, do you know the quote already? No, you don't know the quote, so you have no idea what the person is referring to, and therefore you are excluded from the conversation, which is something that the liberals do a lot, right? They exclude black people from the conversation and then take over the conversation and speak for black people. And when I try and expose that, black people are the first ones to come against me. And isn't that the irony of this whole black experience, the African experience in the United States? That you have people who hate Africans, just out and out hate Africans, and yet dare to speak for Africans. And the Africans beat down the person saying, hey, this guy's trying to speak for you. I'm smiling right now. It's just so laughable. But I'm put into this sort of catch-22. If I redirect my channel to only talk about finance, economy, insurance, business, how to start a business, tutorials on how to better yourself, liberty, freedom, black people come against me. Isn't that crazy? But not only do black people come against me, but I get the federal government following me on Twitter, people from some very weird agencies. Oh, and they're very blatant about it. I'm from this agency. Why are you following me on Twitter? I've yet to ask that. I don't even want to breach the subject. A part of being the son of a diplomat is you learn diplomacy, and a lot of diplomacy is actually ignoring ugly details. Oh, this guy's a homosexual pedophile, and he was caught in bed with a 9-year-old boy and girl by the Secretary of State. But we're not going to talk about that. It's not going to appear in the news. And hopefully, if you're really good at diplomacy, when you give your knowing glance at the man at the negotiation table, he will acquiesce to anything that you demand, right? That's how diplomacy really works. So I don't know why the government is following me. I don't know why. And then I do get those threats. Hey, I'm from this and such and so agency. I think you should cool off. Talking about this specifically. Oh, I think you should completely remove this news article that you wrote. Oh, I think you should stop that press release that you're doing. Oh, really? Okay. All right. I can see your point. Maybe I should do that. Or if I stand up, I'm sorry, I'm not going to remove that. Oh, well, we may be forced to shut you down. So I'm playing this juggling sort of match here with trying not to piss off the powers that be. Not that I don't even consider myself big enough for this, which is really surprising that I'm getting contact by Department of Homeland Security or anything like that. I mean, just weird agencies that I had never even heard of, and yet trying to assist a people that really need it. And I made that vow when I was a child, that I would dedicate my life to assisting the black man, because I even at 7 years old, I saw that we were in desperate need. How about that? I mean, if it's so obvious to me at 7 years old, and I wasn't even really into politics, but at 7 years old, I dedicated my life to furthering the black cause. 7 years old. Isn't that amazing? And there are some people who are 80 years old and black who don't get it. This day, do not get it. Don't get it. And we have not, by my estimation, by my calculation, by my scale, have not progressed since the 80s, which is where my 7 years what fell in, right? Anyway, this is my catch-22. Do I talk about black people, which actually ultimately ends up targeting the lower classes, or do I ignore the lower black classes, go into a more neutral position, talking about lofty things like starting your own business, getting a science degree that will translate into, oh, by the way, I have some good news. There was a report that said that getting the science degrees and going into technology and engineering has benefited black people more than any other group, and there seems to be more black people going into the sciences. So I just got that report. I didn't do a video specifically on it, but I just wanted to mention that it has been noticed. And I want to encourage those black people who just feel that they cannot open up their own business, and they're going to school or about to go to school or in school, to get a science degree. It is wide open. Apparently, there is such a desperate need for engineers and science in the United States that they will even take black people. You hear my sarcasm? You hear how my voice is dripping with complete vitriol? They are in such a desperate state that they will even take black people and pay them $250,000 a year. So we could, just like the Asians have taken it over, you know that 50% of all of the engineering and science degrees go to Asians, who then leave the country. They come here to get the science degrees and engineering degrees, and then they go back to their country. Yale, Harvard, MIT, they said that they would not have a department without Asians. If the Asians stopped coming to the United States, they wouldn't have a department. Now, I say black people should jump on it. The information, the articles that have been written about the black people succeeding in the sciences is white people trying to promote it even more to black people. Well, I'm here to help them right along. Get a science degree, get an engineering degree. Engineering the most. I said petroleum engineer is the best degree to get. Yes, it's fantastic. Where would we be if we had black people, yes, working for the white man, but making $250,000 at a job? And I'm not talking about beyond display, like the football players who literally just look like slaves on the field. That's all it looks like. Take a step back. I want you to go pull up a slave picture of the slaves in the field, and then I want you to get a picture of a wide shot angle. That means that it's a wide shot pulled all the way back of NFL play where all the black guys are scrambling on the field. Do they not look like each other? They look exactly like each other. In fact, I don't want entertainers. I don't need black people to be entertainers. I need black people to be able to build, make, and create stuff, real life stuff. Being an entertainer creates nothing. Now, I say that as an overall picture, The specific picture is, yes, we do need artists, but we need artists for us. We need artists to say, we can come together, we can do this, brother. You know, we need artists saying that. We need actors creating plays that say that. We don't need actors in plays and rappers talking about, this hoe ain't loyal. You know, we don't need that. Unnecessary. But anyway, if I do that like that, you know, it comes to the lowest common denominator. Can a poor black person understand my channel? So that's when I do those videos like that. Say, hey, we don't need rap. Rap is dead anyway. White people are taking it over, just like white people took over country. You do know country, bluegrass, and folk were all originated by black people. But white people took it over to such a degree that now people don't even understand Charlie Pride. They don't even get, why is a black man singing country? It's a white genre. It's a white genre. That's what blues, jazz, and soul and hip hop or rap is going to be in about 20, 30 years. It's going to be all white people. It's already coming. It's going to be all white. It's already coming. In fact, it's already here. When you have all the white people being nominated into the best album of the year for blues, R&B, hip hop, rap, it's a done deal. It's a wrap. Black people are out of it. And, you know, they try and, create Afro-punk. Well, punk came from you, black people, to begin with. Rock came from you, black people, to begin with. Alternative rock came from you to begin with. You're not getting into something that's white. You're getting in something that was black, that was taken over by white people. You know, if I talk like that, you know, then everybody can understand me. Even the poor black people can understand me. But what I've already, on my about page on my YouTube channel, I already said, this is supposed to be about middle and upper class because you don't see it. You don't hear about it. The middle and upper class black people are invisible and they want it to remain that way. They don't want you to talk about black married couple living the happily ever after sort of life. They want you to talk about T-Bone and Leon and such and so going to jail and such and so killing white people, which is a rarity. Did you hear me? It's a rarity. The highest crime meted out to white people is at the hands of another white person. Black people don't even come into the picture. The highest crime meted out to Asians is at the hands of another Asian. The highest crime meted out to a black person is at the hands of a black person. That's just the way it is. That's the way humanity is. You're going to live with somebody familiar, and then somebody familiar, when they go to commit crimes, is going to target, you know, the criminals are lazy. You know, they're not going to walk 13 city blocks to the other side of town to go commit crime against an Asian or something, right? They're going to hit the black lady over the head walking down the street by herself, or the black kid that they think that they can take. That's how it's going to happen. Same thing with the white lazy criminals, Asian lazy criminals. There is no criminal that's super enthusiastic. Anyway, do I redirect my channel back to talking about middle class issues and how to get even better? That's my problem. Do I get shut down? Do I get the government targeting me? The IRS, Homeland Security, designating me as a national security threat? Or do I talk about stupid stuff like hip hop and that Jay-Z's secretly a homosexual and Puff Daddy is a part of the boule? Do I talk about that stupid stuff that gets nobody nowhere? Who cares? I don't care if Puff Daddy is a super homosexual and has sex with dogs. I don't even care. That doesn't benefit anybody whatsoever. It does not to benefit them in the point of increasing their knowledge, increasing our power, increasing our political power. Does nothing for us. Who cares if there's a big, huge homosexual black elite? I don't care. Does nothing for us. And in fact, the boule does nothing for us, right? By definition. That's their whole thing. You want to be a part of us, you have to be homosexual. I mean, it does nothing. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to do anything for black people. I'm talking about groups that can do something for black people. Anyway, thank you for watching the Chicago Live Show.